Let's take a look at a 7th grader's writing. Miguel was asked to write a persuasive essay to the prompt, "Some people believe school lunches need to be healthier. Argue whether or not you believe school lunches should be healthier." On the teacher dashboard is his final essay, and it appears after I click Review. To the left will be his technology-based graphic organizer that he completed. Remember to scroll through the entire student essay like so, to check and scan to see what parts of the TBGO have been completed or not, and to see how far the student was able to get in the development of the essay. For example, did they evaluate their essay? I scroll to the bottom of the TBGO, and it looks like Miguel did complete the evaluation section of the TBGO. After a quick scan of the student work, I can look at the analytic rubric for persuasive writing. This is where the teacher will score the student's writing and determine the next instructional steps. Now let's score the essay. The first section of the rubric is planning. Let's see how Miguel did. He has decided to respond to the second prompt here about school lunches. Did Miguel check off all the statements to confirm an ability to pick a side? Yes, he selected yes to all 3 statements, so he will receive a 4. I then click Next and go to Goal Selection. For goal selection, I return to the TBGO to determine if the writer has selected an essay goal. Miguel selected the essay goal of 3 reasons and 1 explanation. This is an appropriate goal for himself, and he completed the essay goal, so he receives a 4. Same thing with the personal goal. I see in the TBGO that Miguel made a personal goal of adding more details with adjectives to explain his reason. Knowing Miguel and his academic needs, this is also an appropriate personal goal for himself, so I click 4. For brainstorm, I look at the brainstorm box in the TBGO and the keywords column. He has brainstormed in more than one way, as you can see, but he has only filled out 2 rows of the keywords column. This is less than the 4 sections, so this is why he earns a 2. If a student does not complete the keywords column, it can impact their essay. In the case of Miguel, his sentences for reasons 2 and reasons 3 are repetitive, and the summary statement introduces yet another reason. A more complete brainstorming could strengthen his argument. When I click 2 in the analytic rubric, a pop-up box will appear. If students score less than a 3 on the rubric, an instructional decision must be made. So I look at the box below where it says Instructional Decision. Under the area that needs improvement, planning and brainstorming is auto-populated. Next, I look at the rationale. Why did this student receive below a 3? This student selected a brainstorm option, but he did not fully utilize the keywords. So I type in, selected a brainstorm option, but only used 2 keyword boxes. Then the teacher can select a data decision map to make the next instructional step. Because this area of need is in the planning section, I click the planning map. Next, because the student did not score a 3 or better on the brainstorming section, I go to the brainstorming. Here are my options for instructional decisions. I could assign the student Content Video 3, assign the student How To Video B or C, or I can check in with the student. Once I hover over Check in with the student, there are several options that I can use to check in with Miguel. I decide the best check-in option is number 3, to check in with Miguel about how he could further develop his brainstorming and avoid repetitive reasons. Returning back to the instructional decision box, I decide to assign Content Video 3 and to use Teacher Check-in 3. Finally, I click Save Rubrics, and this will all be saved under View Record. After providing classroom instruction as noted in the instructional decision box, A teacher would continue to monitor student outcomes and student progress. The teacher would do so by returning to the dashboard scoring in the TBGO, documenting new instructional decisions based off the data, and in the teacher dashboard, teachers can track these individualized instructional decisions made over time and determine if they need to make an instructional change. This is the ongoing cycle of data-driven decision-making to facilitate student progress when writing in the TBGO.